Hello everybody, this is Gamergar and today I am bringing you a beginner's guide on Cult of the Lamb. Today I have a video packed with beginner's tips that you can use to enhance the way you play the game. Also, if you're on the bench and you're thinking about purchasing the game or not, then this video will help you make that decision. Cult of the Lamb is an amazing game and it has hit the gaming community by storm. So without further ado, let's jump into the game, let's have a look at the beginner's tips I have for you today and let's have some fun. I'll see you in the video. At the very start of the game, you'll be given a nice plot of land where you can place buildings so you can grow your cult along the way with yourself. The best way to start this game is to capitalise on the free day you were given before the clock sets in, before the hunger sets in and before the sickness sets in. So you'll notice that there's berry bushes, trees and rocks scattered all over your farm. You should take the time and clear out all of these. Not only will you get back a ton of resources, but you're also going to create lots of space. So planning a really cool cult going forward will be very easy for you because there's many buildings that you can place in this game and all of the buildings do really nice things to make your job of managing your cult a lot easier. So always capitalise on the first day. When you first start going into dungeons, it's worth noting that these dummies here can drop lumber when you defeat them. They do take quite a number of swings, but they are worth doing because you will get lumber in return and lumber is needed for lots of building upgrades throughout the game. The next tip I'm going to show you today is the importance of finding cool tarot rooms. Notice the decorations there. You see the moon, you see the stars. That's how you know the next room is going to be a tarot room like this, where you get really cool tarot cards. These cards give you huge power-ups to make your dungeon crawling experience much easier. It's also worth noting too that you might see weapons dangling down from strings. This is another powered up room, and if you go in here, not only can you get cool spells, but you can also get cool weapons, and there's many different weapons and spells in the game. So you should always try to enter these rooms to get upgrades. Next up, let's talk about the bosses you fight at the end of your dungeon crawl runs. If you manage to beat a boss without taking a single point of damage, you will receive a resource upgrade at the end of your journey. If you can clear a dungeon crawl without taking any damage at all, you'll get a 50% resource upgrade. If you can beat the boss without taking damage, you get a further 20% resource upgrade. The first thing that you want to build after your temple is beds. Now you will be given a choice between beds and farm plots. The reason why you should always prioritise the sleeping bags first over the farm plots is because a well-rested follower will work much harder for you, they will gain much better devotion for you. Basically, you'll have a much better time managing your cultists in this game if they're well rested. The next tip I'm going to share with you today is a really cool secret that a lot of people might not know about. Sometimes when you're venturing, when you're dungeon crawling, you may come across a room here with this NPC, and this NPC will give you a choice between one of 3 items that you can take. The NPC will get really angry if you keep striking the giant snail, and eventually the NPC will attack you. If you can manage to overpower this NPC, you will get a really cool item in return. So it's actually a funny scene to behold. So we just exhausted all the dialogue here and we get a really cool scroll. So this is a recipe to make a really cool decorative item for the plot of land that we're given in the game. Now the NPC does have quite a lot of health, so it does take quite a few smacks to get that NPC to bow before our cool cultist power. And after that then we can smack the snail for as much as we want. The next tip I'm going to show you today is about farming plots. Before you put down your plots to grow your crops, you should always put down the farmer station first. If you put down the farmer station first, it's very easy then to put crop plots inside it. This way, you can assign someone to the farmer station, and not only will they put seeds down in the crop plots, but they will also water the crops for you as well. All you have to do is just to harvest the crops. Later on in the game, you will get access to building upgrades where you will be able to assign a cultist to not only water your crops and plant seeds, but also to harvest your crops. The next tip I'm going to show you today is the importance of blessing your cultists every single day. Every single day you can give your cultists one blessing. The reason why you want to bless them is so that they give you stones so you can unlock cool perks like this. The perk system is broken up into 5 areas. One of the best areas you can go for at the start of the game is the sustenance tree. When you access a tree, you're always given 2 options. The The ritual fast here is extremely overpowered. Basically, you perform a ritual and your followers will fast and they will not need food for 3 whole days. This is absolutely amazing. There will come plenty of times when you're struggling for food, and this ritual will save your followers' lives. If your followers don't get enough food into them, they will actually die, so you will lose followers and you can also lose a lot of faith. What's really cool as well is that every time you unlock a ritual or when you perform one, you get a really cool scene like this, and all these scenes are different depending on what ritual you do, so that's what I really love about this game. The next sustenance perk I recommend you get is the Grass Eater trait. This takes away all the negative debuffs from the grass gruel. Now the grass gruel is a food you can make in the game. All you need to make it is grass, and it is a lifesaver if you don't have any other recipes that you can make. Grass is very common when you're dungeon crawling. All you have to do is just strike the really tall grass and you'll get tons of grass that way. I'm just going to make loads of grassy gruels here at the moment. It's just a 1-star food, but because we have that trait unlocked, as we can see, it nullifies the chances that your followers are going to get ill, and we can bang out tons of meals here that will fill your followers right up. So they won't lose faith when they eat this food, they won't get any sort of negative debuffs. The third sustenance perk I recommend you get is the Ritual of the Ocean's Bounty. Now the Ritual of the Harvest is really handy as well, but the Ritual of the Ocean's Bounty is incredibly overpowered. Not only will it make the more rare fish appear when you're fishing, but it will also drastically increase the rate of which fish appear. And the reason why you want to get your hands on as much fish as possible is because number 1, you can sell your fish around the game, make tons of gold. Number 2, you can cook the fish and you can make really cool meals. Some of the meals in this game, when your cultists eat the meals, they will give you offerings. As you can see here, we've just gone fishing. Look at all the fish that we can access. There are tons of fish in this pond that we can fish up, and the fishing minigame in this game is incredibly easy. Not only that, but because we're getting so many rare fish, we can very quickly do the rare fish minigame, and we can give this fishing NPC all the rare fish that he desires. Every time we give him a rare fish, he will give us a fleece token. Once you have collected 4 of these tokens, you can unlock one of the many fleeces in this game. A fleece is basically a double-edged sword. So basically, when you select a fleece, it will give you a huge boon, but it will also give you a huge debuff. In my opinion, one of the best fleeces that you can select here is the Golden Fleece. The Golden Fleece has a damage multiplier on it for every time you kill an enemy. Now the debuff is that you will take double damage, but it is, to be honest, quite easy to avoid most enemy attacks in this game if you are paying attention. If you're not the best at combat, don't worry about it. There are 6 fleeces in here in total that you can select that can match your playstyle. All of these fleeces are really good depending on how you like to play the game, and that's the beauty of this game, is that you're always given lots of options to choose from. The next tip I'm going to throw your way is the importance of trying to accumulate as many cultists as possible. And a great way to accumulate cultists, of course, is to do some dungeon crawling. This NPC will always sell you cultists at discount rates, but sometimes he will give you a 100% discount off these cultists. It's also worth noting too that when you are dungeon crawling, try to smash open as many crates and fires that you see, because there's a very good chance you will get really nice items out of them, such as money and food. As we can see here, the NPC is offering a new cultist at a 100% discount. We will absolutely take that. So that's basically a free cultist right there for us. And the last tip I have for you today is the importance of cleaning the poop and the sick up as quickly as possible. If you don't, your cultists will get sick and they could potentially die. Not to worry though, because later on in the game you will be given access to a janitor station and an oath house, making this task much easier to handle. So I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you enjoyed it. That sums up the current tips I have from Cult of the Lamb from playing the game for a couple of hours. Now I have played a lot more of the game. I do have a lot more tips in store. So if you want to see more videos like this, just subscribe to the channel, hit that like button and let me know in the comments and we can take it from there. As always, I hope you have a great week and I will see you in the next video.